and welcome back to my podcast and this featured tracks playlist for October 2023 post. This playlist has 5 great tracks from my most recent CDs. My Haunted Mind, Why Don't You Just Let Us Play, Run With Me, For All the Good Times, and Make It a Double. To find this playlist for YouTube Music, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, or Amazon Music, I've created links to each of them and added them to this post and on my website at R.E.Fort.co/playlist, or find them on my YouTube Music, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, or Amazon Music sites. Let's get to the playlist. Starting this off is My Haunted Mind. During the first year of the COVID-19 lockdown, I did a lot of writing, and this track, along with the CD Living in Strange Times, came from that time frame. In this track, I started with the bass guitar and then slowly started adding other instruments. I love this smooth jazz blues track for the cool guitar and keyboard solo that comes in later and the hot rhythm track. Let's give My Haunted Mind a listen. Next up is Why Don't You Just Let Us Play. On this track, I was going for a big rock fusion track. I love that opening bass guitar line on this track and that killer solo later in the track. When I was writing this track, I heard in my head, man, why don't you just let us play? And so it was named. This track has that cool rock blues feel to it where a band is on stage just laying it down. Let's give Why Don't You Just Let Us Play a listen. Next up is Run With Me. This track also came about during the COVID-19 lockdown. I was playing around with time signatures and running some cool sounding licks when the song just came out of me. I love the interplay I did between the guitar and the keyboards on this track. The solo work on this track is so cool. On this track, I'm playing my Fender acoustic electric guitar for the chords, melody, and believe it or not, that guitar solo too. Let's give Run With Me a listen. Next up is For All the Good Times. On this track, I wanted a conversation between the guitar and the keyboards. The walking bass line sets the rules for the conversation. For the piano chords, I'm using a Fender Rhodes piano sound, and for the melody, I'm using a grand piano sound. I played the guitar melody and solo on my Gibson SG. The guitar chords I played on my Fender Acoustic Electric. I love this track's cool groove and that great bass guitar work. let's give For All the Good Times a listen. The last track on October's playlist is Make It a Double. This track is a great mix of blues and smooth jazz groove. On this track, I'm playing my Fender Acoustic Electric for the melody and my Fender Stratocaster for the rhythm and solo. I love the little effects in this track. They give this track such a cool vibe. I love the solo at the end of this track that changes everything around. This track is so much fun and it will really get you tapping your feet. Let's give Make It a Double a listen. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode and get a chance to listen to the full tracks on either my YouTube Music, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, or Amazon Music sites. Remember, you can find links to those sites, playlists, on my website, R.E.Fort.co/playlist. The music opening and closing this podcast is the track named So Cool from my CD 10. Thanks for listening, and as always, without music, life has no soul. Thanks.